how are some hogs so good, right? They're often really sneaky, really unpredictable, and really good at messing up your DPS, right? But then nobody really knows how to, like, people don't talk about Hog like he's a strategic hero, and he is, you know? Why Roadhog? What is his strengths and weaknesses?
I would say he's really good at controlling a like set area, sort of his like hook range, and just being like overall a threat to be scared of, especially in Overwatch 1. I played Roadhog during like in scrims against Double Shield, and it's just like he was a threat when he was taking angles and trying to get around shields and stuff like
makes
that.
sense.
And I think that's still sort of his role.
Yep. I would agree with that. Okay. Theory, I've always been the flank hog advocate, where at least to some extent taking off angles and things like that are really good, because head on versus some tanks, Roadhog isn't so good. But then also, I wonder with the removal of one tank if that's as much necessary. But then I'm also wondering, okay, well, yeah, but maybe flanks are still just so important for controlling for your team. And then is it more important for you to worry about making sure their hog controlling their hog versus enabling your own self to control their DPS? And I've got a lot of questions, you know. Let's how have you been playing him? What have you learned?
Sort of with that like rock paper scissors thing is, like, if I see an Orisa, usually I'm going to play more of a flank hog style, because if the Orisa wants to, you know, focus me, then she has to give up a bunch of space. And then against Winston, I'll play more frontline, just because it's harder for Winston to just like walk up on a hog, and he'll have to be more aggressive to dive backline. And I'll waste a lot of his resources before he's able to do that, hopefully. And then hog mirror, it depends.
Yeah, it sure does.
Try to feel it out.
Maybe it becomes more about like what's the most important position of the map to control, and you focus on that.
Right.
Yeah, I think what you're saying with avoid the Orisa, bully the Winston, and then in the mirror, not so sure. Let's see. But like, see, this is what I like, right? Because this is like proactive space control. You know what I'm saying? The enemy hog is no longer a threat. All right, now I need to control their DPS. I can't really control their Sojourn, Kiriko, or Mercy, but I can control their Tracer right now because she happens to be on the flank. Right, so... See, this is my question. Should you have dropped here?
I don't think I really needed to, no.
Do you see why that could potentially be a problem?
Yeah.
Why?
Because now I'm feeding the Sojourn charge, and she's given the high ground for free.
Right. In fact, I actually think that's what happens, because I had a problem with this before I saw Sojourn taking high ground, but I actually think that's exactly what happens. You see?
Yeah.
And then now do you see how like you've given up space to control? Now, obviously, you would need to play carefully here, but I do think that your team is trying to kind of hold the line here. So it seems reasonable enough for you to at least be lurking here / here, right? This seems reasonable enough. Now, I have another question here. Where is their Roadhog? Is he even back yet? No, he's not back yet. Yeah, I don't think this is good. I don't think this is good. I think this is indirectly what ends up... Yeah, because this happens because you forfeited the space. And regardless of whether you have hook or not, you're a threat here, right? You're a threat here, you know?
Yeah.
And I also think that you should always prioritize which DPS do you think that you can control the most, right? So Tracer is somebody that we saw you controlling earlier because you were able to close it. You were able to basically just, there's nothing else to do. But right now, if you come here and Sojourn is still here, I think your job is to control Sojourn if the Tracer's all the way across the map. Disregard, right?
Right.
I mean, this is the best way to describe this is moronic. But at the very least, it makes sense. Like, you're just completely oblivious to what's going on around you. But this at least kind of lines up with what we kind of, in theory, want you to be doing, just to not do it so horribly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you did walk at the Sojourn. You forced a lot of chaos. You forced Susie. You forced Hog to chase you. It's unfortunate. Honestly, just got out mechanic there. It looked awkward. So now here's a question for you. Would you, as Hog, what are your options here as the attacking Hog?
There's up the stairs to the high ground.
Yeah.
And try to take that.
Why would you do that?
Try to make space for your Sojourn to be able to walk with you, I would assume. Or there's that basically bottom left flank, which can just catch someone off guard.
Yeah.
And then perhaps going down main, even though I think that's probably the worst option.
Yeah, because that one doesn't really feel like it controls space, nor does it contest enemy space by threatening picks.
Yeah.
Fire.
That seems to be like the question for me is would it be better here for you to play for yourself and to play for picks and threats just by threatening space on your own, or would it be better to help your team control contested space?
Yeah, that's...
I'm not sure. I'm
not sure either.
Right here now, but I think it's actually easier for you than it is for the attacking Hog, because for you it seems pretty self-explanatory, right? Which one do you think is better here, contesting the Sojourner or going for your own flank?
Probably contesting the Sojourner.
Why? Let's consider the other option, which is playing for yourself and going for your own picks. What other picks do you have available to you right now? If you have a general feel of where the enemy is positioned, which you should.
Right. It's like Roadhog, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's not likely.
Doesn't really feel like there's a lot available, you know?
Yeah.
Like maybe if you heard the Tracer going underneath, you could go mark her. But then again, it's like you have to consider like what's the most valuable position that they're controlling and or what's their most dangerous threat. And I don't think it would be the Tracer at that point in time necessarily. I think the Sojourn's the more direct, and this is the high ground is a more important position, so that it becomes I'm going to go to the most lethal thing. Like I know we're like a lot of people in chat are gonna be like, dude, this is Roadhog. It ain't that deep. Just go and get hooks, you know. But it is that deep, right? It is that deep. I think like right now, this makes a lot of sense. You know, even if you missed the hook, but what did you do? You see? This is right now. Look what's happened. Their Sojourn's position has been forfeited. The Kiriko's position has been forfeited, and now the Roadhog. Now here's a funny thing. If we're coaching this Roadhog, this is kind of a feat, isn't it? Why?
Because now the Sojourn's already gone.
Right,
so
and is this a good flank for Hog? No, it's wide open, right? So if you're not actively holding the space for somebody else, you want to play for what's best for you, which is oftentimes something more sneaky. So I think like even here, I don't know. I don't love this. You know, are you controlling or contesting space for your team once you cross this line? No. You unless this guy is low, and or you've got somebody with you that's going to murder him, then this is a waste of time, because what's going to happen here is you're going to hook him, you're going to shoot him, he's going to vape, you're going to vape, back off, nothing happens, but actually maybe he hooks you back in and then you die. Right? That's extremely fortunate that worked out. You could feel the danger there, right? You could feel the danger. You ended up getting help, which is really phenomenal. Like, look at your team's response here. You see, I mean, look at this. This is actually phenomenal from your team. Was this something that you were communicating? Do you remember this game?
No, I was not communicating this.
Okay. So you rolled the dice and that you got better teammates than that Hog got. But this was...
Yeah.
You went in at full H, like, yeah. You went in and almost died, even though he did not have hook. Okay, so then now here's the question. Who do you need to be worrying about at this point in time?
Sojourn.
Right. Not Tracer, not Kiriko. These are not dangerous threats. These are also hard for you to kill. So worry about Sojourn. Why? Right? And the fact, why do you miss this hook?
Because I wasn't even looking at it at the beginning.
You made it hard for yourself by trying to react, and look what happens. You see? So not only do you miss the hook, but your missing of the hook is what cost your Kiriko her life. So you guys are going to go for the spawn camp? I mean, okay, if you're going to go for the spawn camp, this is where you want to be, right? Why? Why? What's two good things about this position for you?
It's on high ground.
And what's on your screen?
there's Sojourn there.
Right. The most dangerous, most lethal, most controllable thing by you is on your screen. So you're controlling the space for yourself. It happens to be pretty good for you, other than because it's unlike the other high ground. It's got pretty good cover, and you know, you're denying their Sojourn the ability to get kills. So there you go. This is good. And like this is a terrible, terrible thing for them. Like obviously this fight's probably lost because love it. Good. Oh no, he got snaked. Okay, that's okay. It's okay. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay. All right. So let's apply our theory again here, and this is just wonderful because now you have full scouting information. So where are you going?
I'm going bottom right.
Why?
Because I can see that there's Sojourns there, and I think that's both of their backline. I can't see perfectly, but
yeah. It's hard to see, but yeah, this is what we've got. Right?
Yeah.
Do you need to help contest space on high ground?
No.
Why not?
Because their hog isn't. He's just sitting down main.
Okay. Are they going to push high ground into infocytes either?
No.
Probably not. So you can go in and assume that if I go top, that's going to be a waste of time. Okay, so I think going for backline here makes the most sense. You could also look to trade hog on cart with the information that you have, and you're going to get support there too. Let's see what happens. Infocytes is gone. They see you. That hog certainly sees you on the flank, and then guess what ends up happening? Infocytes runs out, and now what does that Sojourn want to do? You see?
Yeah, she wants to walk.
And look what you're doing. Well, you're missing a hook, but yes, you understand what I'm saying, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I would go as far to say is obviously be careful of feeding shot here, but I mean it's not as important in current meta anyway. And where should you be at this point in time?
I'm not sure.
A little bit of a trick question.
I think here is fine.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. You are in a good position to control the Sojourn. Again, the squishy that you're good versus, and the space that they were trying to fight for, and you're stopping it. So stay here. Keep shooting. Even if you don't have the hook, even if you're doing barely minimal pellet damage, stay here. Get on her. Don't do this. Don't do this. You know? Don't do this. Go back. Even if it's to get, okay, fine, you needed to vape, you need to cover, okay, go back. She needs to go. She needs to go. She needs to go. You know? This position is important. Even from this position here, even if, let's say, this was completely vacated, okay, then now kill the tracer. Like, if this high ground is completely empty, you could use it. You could use it yourself. You need to control the space. Because do you see your, I mean, look, I mean, we know what's going to happen, don't we? We've seen this already twice before, at least. You know? Let's watch what happens. Let's watch what happens. So she takes the position. She shoots out of it. She slides out. She goes in aggressively. And again, I'll think about how much you could have done from here. Mercy dies, Sojourn dies, or then you use this position and get a kill from here. Right? You are not in a good position to control their DPS, to control their space at all. You're dead. Oh. I mean, surely you could have played your life better there. Uh-oh. Ajax. Alrighty. I mean, this is just let her die. Nice hook. Run. He's got a hook. Run. Oh, maybe you're okay. I thought for sure you were dead. Classic mistake. So, I mean, this is now 2 times that we failed on our intended plan with our whole hog here. So, not great. We're gonna die here. Wait, did you get Suzu'd?
Yeah.
That was next level Suzu right there. Wild. Okay. Now, let's rewind this fight. Let's go all the way back to the beginning here. What should you do? You got to kill. What should you do? Where's the space that you should control? It's either good for you or controlling the enemy team. It's not so obvious, is it?
Yeah. I mean, the corner basically on this left side is probably the best place for me to be.
Why?
Because there's always the threat of, like, at least for Hog, hooking him off the map, so I don't have to worry about the Hog mirror. And like there's a Mega right by the side.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. What about here?
That's okay, I would say. Maybe just to like mark their tracer as much as I can, but.
What about here? Where you're at here, just on the corner.
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just playing a corner, but.
Yeah, I don't know. So this is where I think your first suggestion made the most sense, but when it comes to like controlling space or helping yourself out in terms of landing more hooks, I don't know what would be better. I don't know. I really don't. I definitely think there's like a lot of the micro errors here are simply like you're just not playing your life very well. Like right here, for example, I don't know why you're here. I think you really should be playing this with more respect, given the fact that you've got two people in spawn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then obviously, you need to have ammo before you land a hook. And then like right here, you know that he's got hook. Why are you peeking this here? Right?
Right.
This is silly. You should have died there. If you miss his hook, then you mess up your whole hog. So that's another goofy thing. Then you miss your hook again. Then you disengage too slowly, and you get Suzu'd out of a hook again. So like, there's a lot of low-hanging micro fruit here, and I think that's definitely something that you need to put on your list of things to work at specifically. But I wanted to like go like look beyond that as well. And like also like here is just really stupid, you know, because like here's one of two things that's gonna happen: either you're gonna die to M1 or you're gonna die to their hog hook as you cross out in the open. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, obviously we ended up in a really cruddy position for yourself and for controlling the enemy team. But I would go as far to say that the majority of that fight's errors were more micro. You just were not playing well. Less so about how you were positioning. And like even here, it just seems... I don't know, it just doesn't seem very polished, you know? Would it be better to kind of peek for something here and then hook and then pull into here, you know?
Right.
It has to be, right? Like, it has to be, even if it's just the hog.
Yeah.
And then again here, like, careful, really, please be careful here. Please be careful, please. He has hook, you know? There's a hook advantage here. I don't care if you've got members of your team here. They have 4 now, too. Like, this seems really, really risky. And now you're killable. Ooh, geez, like I really don't. I'm not impressed with your hog micro this game.
Okay.
You're not being punished because he's also not playing well, but you should have died at least 2 or 3 times over at this point, Navon. This is another question here where I'm wondering, like, would it be better for you to swing to this position here, right? Would this not offer better angles for your hooks, right?
Right.
It's not far too split from your team. You have good cover. I think this makes a lot more sense because if you're stacking with your team, it's a lot easier for them to kind of play around the 80-80 strafing, and you just basically front load a ton of damage. I think even if you're playing just for hooks on frontline, I think this makes a lot more sense for me. And that's just ignoring the hog micro as well. Huh. Do you see what's happening on your screen? Wait.
Yeah, their surgeon's pushed up
Right.
very far.
Right. She's allowed to be here, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't happen. Now, this is where again, you can have your cake and eat it too. You could have been doing what you're doing here, which is just missing a lot of hooks from here, but also been able to in a better position to control the enemy team from taking these off angles, and still been able to, like, look at how defensive your Honest had to play here. If you're here, do you see how much more aggressively she can play?
Yeah.
Right? She can walk all the way up to this corner here and pocket you, which is what you want, right? So the reason why she's this far back is because of your positioning. That's why. So if you walk forward to this position here, the rest of your team can actually, and heck, you could have your Junkrat walk with you. You could have your Genji walk with you. You could have your Genji swing all the way wide out to here now all of a sudden. But because you are not controlling space, your DPS cannot control space, so it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of like, oh, I have to play defensively here because I'm going to be by myself and isolated. Well, yeah, because of how you're positioning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nice hook, right? But holy cow, that guy should not have been allowed to even come close to there. I mean, look at what else is happening, right? You see this? We've given up this entire angle. But we don't care about, this is not an angle, this is easily spammable. Easily, we don't care about you controlling the space. You're not controlling space. You're just a punching bag at this point in time. You're feeding that Sojourn shots so that when she does go aggressively on the angle, she always has charge. Okay. Okay, so they juke you. Again. This guy should have nowhere to hide, because if he comes here, he gets hooked and shot. If he comes here, he gets shot from the rest of your team. I don't like this position. You just walk. Nice shot. Okay. No! You're fine. No! No!
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, here's what they would do. Here's what they could do, okay? So, if you were here, how could they theoretically clear you out?
The Hog could push me from like the left side.
Yeah, they could put Hog and somebody else swing out to here.
Yeah.
Now, if they get hooked in, they die, right? So that's because their supports don't have good LOS. So your supports would have excellent LOS. So I think it's a very risky play, but they theoretically could swing Hog and like Sojourn out to like a really, really far range and maybe bully you a little bit. In which case, maybe you have to rotate out here. But then if they do that, okay, well then at least you force them to do their homework first, and it's an extremely high risk while they're doing that. Well, it's more of a lower risk for you, right? What are you seeing so far?
I think I'm incredibly focused on holding like a corner instead of holding an angle and denying their angles.
I think there's a lot of nuance with that, right? Like there were times when we talked about how like maybe holding the angle isn't as useful if the enemy team isn't looking to contest that angle, you know? But then I feel like you should be very focused on. Well, you continue. You go ahead. I interrupted.
Yeah, and then trying to deny Sojourn more instead of like especially Tracer.
Right.
And try and deny like Tracer flanks.
Right. If you were to try and simplify this up, right? Especially because we talked about rank being this complete chaos. So deny Sojourn more. Okay, well, we have a problem, don't we? They're no longer on Tracer. Now, they're still on Sojourn, but now they're on Soldier. You see that? What if they have a Pharmacy one trick? What if they have an Ana? What if they have a Zen? What if they're on Sigma? You know? So how can you structure this in a way that is consistently applicable regardless of the situation, I guess?
I need to identify like what hero I can sort of, in quotes, control the best.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. That's a great way of putting it. What hero can you control the best / what space, like dangerous space, can you control the best? And then if the answer is there's no real relevance to either of those questions, then you really just need to play for yourself, play for your kills, and play where your best position. I think the best example of that was where you could have controlled and contested the Sojourn here, but you just AFK sitting on high ground if there was no Sojourn would not have made a lot of sense, right? Okay, look at their comp. What do you see?
Basically double hit scan.
That's good for Hog, isn't it? In a way.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I can pretty easily deny all the high ground angles.
Yeah, you were very scary to all of them, right? You do feed them a lot of ult charge, but you're scary to all of them.
Yeah.
So where do you think that your space to let's just play it by ear. I'm gonna pause at certain points and you're gonna tell me, okay? Where you should be, where should you go? What do you think?
I think this is fine. I mean, with hindsight.
Ignore hindsight.
Because, okay.
Why do you think this is fine?
I personally, just from like playing this map a lot, I like taking the left side because it gives your supports a good spot to just sit in mega and not have any real threat to them.
Sure. Are there any angles or DPS that you need to be denying at this point in time?
At this point in time, it's basically just the Sojourn.
Right. So this Sojourn should not be allowed to play here. She should be where?
She should be on the high ground in the back.
Right. Make her get out of here. Go back to here, which ironically is the safest position for your team, right? For her to be, right? This isn't a great angle for her. So, and then once she takes the high ground, then what's your priority?
Then it's
mechanics, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's as simple as I'll play their hog, I'll play their hit scans. If you can get the entire enemy team all clumped up here, you've done your job. And then similarly to how like a tracer, if you can get the entire enemy team all clumped up, then you've done your job, and then it's just click heads, right? So I like what we see. No real threat from that, right? And this is what we want, right? You've done your job. You've done your job. You look at your team, look at the angles that your Genji can take, look at your supports can take. You've done your job. Now this one, the problem with this though is it was very easy, right? There was nothing difficult or awkward about the situation. As we get the second point, I imagine it's going to be a little bit more complex, and that's what I'm more interested in. But like the funny thing is even here, it's like, okay, obviously she has shot now, but like if you're gonna shoot somebody, shoot the Sojourn, right? That's unfortunate. But can we legitimately say mechanics diff that for the last 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Yes. As long as we can say that, then we're home free. Doesn't make me happy, but we can say it. Mechanics, right? There's no DPS to control. They're still all clumped up. You knew what he was going to do. He's an idiot, and he's dead. Now, right now, who should you control?
Sojourn.
Or, if I turn around...
Or Soldier.
Or Soldier. Right. Either one. I really like this. You shoot the Sojourn, she backs out. What do? Do you pursue? No. The goal is not to get kills at this point in time. The goal is to stop them from taking space. Sojourn went back. Okay, what's my next responsibility? You kind of see what I'm saying? What do? You turn on Soldier. You miss the hook, but look at where he's gone. You see? Good. You've somehow managed to miss essentially every hook and yet do your job. And yet you've done your job, right? Now, it's mechanics. Now it's mechanics. Now, I would go as far to say as what should you be doing at this point in time if we're considering this situation, right? What should you do? Kind of awkward, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure what I'd do here is fine. I just pressure point playing underneath them.
Sure. Okay. Let's see what happens. I probably would have maybe even not even pressured point. I would have tried to use my Genji as an engage tool to try and look for a hook. You guys honestly need to dive this here, to be honest with you. Like your Junkrat needs to get in here. You need to get your Junkrat spamming. You need to be fishing for hooks. You need your Genji up here with the Kiriko on a pocket. You know, I don't love pressuring point from here, but I'm not as concerned because, I mean, really, truly, this is just simply your Genji's getting absolutely demolished by the enemy Sojourn mechanically, and at the same point, with all due respect, you are also getting demolished mechanically.
Yeah.
You've hit 0 relevant hooks, so, yeah. Now, hindsight. Let's say you're here 10 seconds earlier. What's your priority?
Hog.
Why?
Because all their hit scan are just sitting on the back high ground.
Yes.
So I can't really do anything about them.
Yes. Now, what if this Hog was a Tracer?
It would still be the Tracer.
Right, it would still be the Tracer. Could you kill the Tracer?
Maybe.
But what would be the purpose with you on this Tracer if this Hog was
denying their flank?
Right. So when would you be done denying their flank? I guess is what I'm saying.
When they leave.
Right. So what you would do is you would walk here. You would shoot the Tracer a little bit. Okay. Tracer would blink across here to here. Right. And then what would you do?
And then I would walk somewhere else.
Right. You can't chase. Right. Exactly. Don't chase. Just force her to respect you. You know, and then move on. And then because once she's used to blinks, once your team has intel on her positioning, maybe she has to grab a health back, you've kind of done your job. It's just the reason why I want to clarify that is because obviously it's very dangerous for you to kind of think about only controlling space all the time, because you might get spend a lot of time chasing people around the map. You know what I'm saying? And your hero is just not designed to do that. Idiot. This is perfect, isn't it? Right? Because now, are there any crazy aggressive off angles that you need to control?
No.
Not really, because the angles have shifted, right? This is now the main fight, right? So everything's in front of your team. So now, who is the off angle here? You. Yeah, you are now the threat. You are now not controlling the enemy threats. You are setting up your own threats. And that is the balance with Hog right there. That's the balance with Hog. Am I controlling enemy threats? Is there anything to control? No? Okay, then now I am the threat. I am the angle. Off note, I guess, your hook accuracy has been unimpressive to say the least, so maybe that's something that you need to work on. I've noticed hooking is a lot like Sleep Dart with Ana, where a lot of times I would say as many as 30-40% of missed hooks are just lack of mental focus and not a lack of mechanics. So something to consider. We'll have no proposed solutions for you because I do not have time, but that would be what I would look into, is consider. Okay. Now, right now, what should you be doing? Where are the DPS that you need to be controlling? Do you know?
I don't really know.
No, you don't.
Like what mid-game? Yeah.
You don't. That's the problem. Now, I ask you, could you control the Sojourn?
Maybe. It's a bit harder just because of the long sight line.
Maybe. Maybe not, but maybe. But my problem is not that you decide that, okay, this is too far, this is too much of a waste of time, she's just going to shift away, and then I have to cross on the open, I'll be off. You know, my problem is that you didn't even make that decision at all.
Yeah.
Right? You didn't decide not to, you just ignored all the information entirely. Who's at a greater risk of being hooked here and dying, you or him?
I would say him, just because I'm playing a corner. He's not.
Right into the trap. Why were you here? Is there any real chance of you hooking this soldier or Sojourn from here?
No.
Is there any real chance of you pushing the soldier or Sojourn from here?
Not realistically.
So why are you here? Because I think what you did was fine, but there's a very specific reason why you're here, and you probably didn't even realize it. What just happened? What just happened?
We retired.
Well, what just happened here?
Killing the Hog.
Right. So why were you here? Why was this Hog here?
Because he's trying to deny us from getting the high ground.
Right. He's trying to do what you did earlier, which is control the high ground for his DPS, right? So then, why were you here?
I'm here to deny him from denying our
yes, aren't you? You see? Do you see? Yeah, you were here for the Hog. If there was no Hog here, there would be no reason for you to be here, right? Because he was the threat. He was the one that was the threatening threat. So then, now my question is, where should you be?
I should be here.
Are you sure? There's no Hog here anymore. You said that you can no longer push out. You see, so you see what I'm saying, right? Do you think this soldier sojourn is going to walk all the way up to here?
No.
No. So then where should you be?
I should be on cart or trying to push up right.
Right. I'm wondering if you could go around here now. Would this be the time to go? Yeah. This would be the time. Because now, is there anything for you to control? No. Go be a threat. What about here? You see? You see? Now is the time to go because there's nobody to control anymore, is there? So then you need to go do your thing. Play for yourself now. Because what are you going to do here? You're going to feed Sojourn Shot. Right? Very questionable Riptire. Now this is good, right? Now I don't know if your team's going to be in a position to help you hold the space. You need to be very careful, but you at least have cover here, right? The Sojourn's having a hard time, isn't she? There you go. Now she might use that as an impetus to go aggressive. Again, do you see what your positioning here does now? Now, obviously, you were able to clear off of high ground because you were able to get to here. Because of the Riptire, right? Also, it's worth noting as well, how did you actually really, truly get here? Did you walk out in the open? No. What did you do? You walked out, you dropped, and then you walked up from the stairs from this angle. Right? Interesting. Oh, no. Oh no. Oh no. Now, let's we have the power of hindsight here with perfect scouting. What are your priorities? 2 priorities right now. If you have perfect scouting.
Hog, and then the Sojourn probably trying to like take the high ground.
Yes. So then what's the issue here?
I drop off the high ground.
You didn't know where Hog was, did you?
Oh, yeah, no, I could hear him somewhere underneath me, but I had no idea which direction.
Right. So either you hold high ground to deny Sojourn. Wow, look at that. Who would have thought? Or you really truly go all in on the hog hunt here. And I think probably the latter, or the former, excuse me, because you can always drop for the hog. This is more of a priority for me. I think this is more of a priority. Oh dear. And, you know, yeah. This guy should die. The Mercy should then die. And then the Hog should die. And, yeah. Okay. It's hard playing this hero, man. It's hard. I don't think people do not give respect to this hero enough. And the problem with Hog is that I think from what I learned in Overwatch 1, and it definitely feels like that in Overwatch 2 as well, it seems like a lot of the decisions that happen with Hog are often automated, so people think that he's easy, but then how are some Hogs so good, right? They're often really sneaky, really unpredictable, and really good at messing up your DPS, right? But then nobody really knows how to, like, people don't talk about Hog like he's a strategic hero, and he is, you know? Like right now, okay, let's ask, what are your options here? You've got 2 options, really, right? What are they?
There's walking right side through the building over there, and then trying to take high ground. Right.
So either you're going to go clear out this Widowmaker, right? And then take this angle for yourself, or you're going to go clear out high ground. Now, once again, when we say clearing out high ground, what do we really truly mean?
Pressuring out their hog from high ground.
Pressuring out their hog, shooting him, preventing him, because if you're not here, they will win the high ground because their hog will go where? He'll go here, his DPS will walk forward, and you guys will just lose, right? Anytime that any of you guys try and peek out here, the hog will push them out. But if you're here, pushing them out might mean he dies. So then, I'm not sure which one is best here. I think probably the safe call is going top left, considering where your Genji and Junkrat are. And sure enough, look what happens, right? Obviously, there's nothing you could do about this. You weren't here in time. But that's exactly what we're scared of.
Right.
So maybe we deal with the hog first. We play the mechanics game here. Let's walk. That's a disaster. Well, maybe not a disaster. But again, here, like, why? I think like at this point in time, I understand like you want to pressure cart, but not. I wouldn't do that yet. There's stuff happening right now. Where's the Widowmaker? Where's the Mercy? Right? Where's the Roadhog? You don't know, right? So I would take a split second right now. If you're really truly everybody's okay, I can start to leverage cart and cause some issues. Then do it. But like, look at your Genji, right? Oh man, he would love to have your help. He would love to have your help, and you're just chilling. I don't like that. I really did not like that. Okay, wasn't the worst thing you could have done, especially considering how advanced the cart was, but yeah. Your Junkrat. Like even right now, go get him! Go get him, please! Don't let them split you out.
Yeah, this happens for a bit, because my entire
like
thought right now is just like,
you're losing, you're dying, your team is dying. Okay, no, whatever. We reviewed a Winston day before yesterday. He did the same thing. They got like one pick and he immediately just goes to cart and they ended up losing the fight. I was like, no, win the fight. Oh my gosh. But you know what? It's funny. Like we could look at this as like one goofy error, but this actually lines up exactly with a lot of your problems with Hog up to this point, right? Which has been you controlling the enemy aggressive angles. And then if there are no aggressive angles, then use them for yourself. You're doing one of two things. One, you do not control the enemy DPS angles. And then two, you're not oftentimes not even using the angles for yourself a lot of times. You're playing very boring. And this is important because, you know, that's something that we can always apply regardless of whether they're on Winston or Orisa, right? So if they're on Orisa, okay, you definitely need to control the enemy aggressive angles because you're not going to be able to sit on main at all and do anything, right? And then if they're on Winston, okay, if they're on a dive comp, maybe there are not as many aggressive angles. Maybe it's more about, for example, okay, so like let's say they're running the same composition but with Winston, right? What would you play? How would you play?
I probably would still somewhat ignore their Winston just because I think Widow and Sojourn are more of a threat and denying their ankles.
Right. Now, here's the other thing we're going to dig around too. If I'm coaching a Winston player to play into Roadhog, how does a Winston player play into a spam composition or a Roadhog? Do you think he's just going to run it down mid?
No.
No, what's he going to do?
He's going to try to ignore the Roadhog.
Right.
Get away from the Roadhog.
Right. And not just the Roadhog, he's going to try and avoid sightlines off of your Soldier and off of your Genji, off of your Ana, off of your Kiriko, right? He doesn't want to take spam damage, which is going to mean where are you going to find him a lot of times setting up his dives? On,
like, the edges.
On the edges, which is exactly where you're going to be. Right? You're going to go hunt. Like, you could, even if you were to ignore the Sojourn Mercy and prioritize Winston, that would often take you into places where you are not just sitting AFK. On card. You would need to go proactively prevent him from getting in those positions to kill you. This is wild. I mean, it's tilting, but like, you know, I mean, they're not doing so hot. Oh no! Oh. Now, right now, what's your mindset right now? Very important that we were able to pivot here. What's your mindset?
Deny this sort of flank from their Roadhog. It's not really a flank.
Right. So what's the word that we use? Starts with an M.
Angle.
No. Oh. Are there any really true angles here? Right, it's just mechanics, right? This is a fight where, okay, don't overthink this. There's not a lot of angles or flanks for you to control. Everything's just kind of tunneled down mid. It's just the nature of the map, right? So just mechanics. Just mechanics. That's all it is. I'll play their hook. You play your hook better. Play cover better. Play corner better. Play around your vape. Whatever. This is just mechanics. Just mechanics. This is mechanics right here, what you're about to do. Maybe bait his hook. You didn't get it. You got a nice shot, though. Nice. That, if he doesn't hook your Junkrat, was a really nice hook, was it not? Right? Look at the resources that it forced. Look at the mess. Look at the space that it forced, right?
Yeah.
So that was a good play by you. I respect it. Okay, let's keep going. All right, one more fight. This fight's probably lost. Oh, nice. Jump off the map. Okay. Nice. Now right now, who do you need to be controlling as best as you can?
Tracer.
If you can clear out Tracer or deal with their Sojourn, then you will. If you cannot, understandable. Sometimes that's the difficulty of Hog, right? That's why you have heroes like D.Va, right? To where they have mobility that can do the exact same thing as you. Even if there's less kill threat, they can do it easier, right? So right now, yeah, it's predictably the kill that we got here, right? Nice. Really big kill. Oh. Wait. Ah, disaster. Tilting. Okay. What do you see?
A lot of mechanical issues.
I agree. So what's the solution for that?
Sort of what you were saying before, and just being like more like mentally engaged.
And obviously just practice. You know, there's no real shortcuts there. Okay, what else are you saying?
I'm not respecting like some of the really strong parts of the map, and making sure that even if like they aren't taking it at the moment, just controlling that space, even if there's like
right
now there's nobody there.
Yes. Your whole philosophy is either I am going to play to control their aggression, whether that's from their Sojourns or their Roadhogs or their Winstons or whatever. I'm going to control their aggressive flanks and angles. Anything that's favorable for me, right? I can't control an aggressive Orisa, but I can control an aggressive hit scan. And then if they are all clumped, if they are not taking aggressive positions, then I can just play wherever I want to play. Where do I want to play? Where I can feel like I could get the most hooks, right? And that's it.
Right.
Anything else that you're seeing, or is that mostly it?
That's mostly it.
I agree too. I think you can look back at this and think about like the mind games that you're playing with the enemy Roadhog at many points in time was pretty shoddy, especially the first half here. I think you could have been punished a lot harder, but I think I wouldn't say that we've solved it, but we've definitely given you direction to go with your Roadhog in terms of how you should be positioning. And I hope, do you feel more confident that you know what to do now versus RNG Jackbox compositions?
Yes.
Okay. What are you looking for, essentially?
I'm looking for whoever I can control
the
best on the enemy team.
Right. Exactly. That's a great way to put it. If it's a pharmacy, okay. Can I take then you're setting up for their backline, right? Then you're setting up to control their Tracer. And then if that pharmacy gets too aggressive, you know what you're gonna do, right? I think it's as simple as that. And the difficulty is going to be, we've been able to slow it down and break it down to step-by-step process. But then obviously in the heat of the battle, and as the map dynamically changes, is to be able to quickly and reactively rotate. And the same way that a Zenyatta has to learn how to rotate on Oasis City Center, right? Versus ran at different compositions, you have to learn how to rotate and control different space at any point in time. I mean, think about it, there were many fights, especially on the second point, where you should have shifted your positioning like 2 or 3 different times over the course of like 30 seconds, right? And that's where I think the skill cap of Roadhog is, and that's how you're going to help your team win fights, is off of stuff like that. Even if you are beefing your mechanics, you're putting yourself in positions where the enemy team has to respect you more, and so that you indirectly win more fights off of that.